I'm a just island boy. I'm a just island boy. I'm a get key white boy.
Hey, we're back here with Mark, fresh out of a tornado. Made it safe. We're happy to hear that. Guess we can jump right into it. This is the week 6 recap, week 7 preview. Another week, another big crop of injuries. It's Thursday evening. It's late. Cleveland's playing. I think Ernest Johnson scored already. So let's get right into it. The first game last week was you versus me. We both picked ourselves. You won and got weekly high score, 154 to 89. I saw you just change your name. Cook is back. He had 23. Danny Dimes, Jamal Williams, David Njoku, Devontae Smith were awful. For you, Taylor and Fournette had 57 together. Wentz had 20. A good, solid quarterback day. AB on your bench also did pretty well. What do you have to say about your remaining opponents?
I think my remaining opponents are in for a tough week. I think my lineup's balanced. This is exactly what I picked the team for. Exactly what I wanted. Barring injuries, I'm happy with where I'm at.
Yeah, good. I know you started out shaky, but it seemed like you come around. I think it was 3 games in a row now.
Well, it's Gesicki's playing well. Darrell Williams, he's solid. For some reason, it seems like he outproduced CEH whenever CEH was the starter there.
Yeah, I don't know that Edwards-Helaire walks back into a role.
And then Fournette, yeah, I agree. And Fournette's, a comfortable top 10 running back at this point.
Fournette absolutely is. I would have
top 15 maybe.
Well, guys are going up and down, getting hurt and being better. Next matchup was Jeff and Joey. Joey squeaked by with a 5-point win. CeeDee Lamb looked awesome, 33 points. Lamar only had 11. For Jeff, D-Hop had 19. The Colts defense had 17. It wasn't enough. Herbert had 10. Hollywood disappointed with only 5. I picked Joey. You picked Jeff. Any surprises with the scores? I know Jeff did not come out like we thought.
No, actually, it's the biggest surprise, I think, would be that Marquise Brown Lamar Jackson duo.
Yeah.
Green Wheat, after making the trade, dealing with a ton of injuries now between Hunt and Chubb, and Jackson not putting up what we expect out of him. But on the flip side, I think it hurt Jeff just as much because Marquise Brown didn't get anything, not out of Brown, not out of Arnold, not out of Claypool. And that's really where the game was won and lost.
For sure. I would agree with that. Palmer continues to thrive. He had 133 to 106 win over Abbott. With that, Palmer holds the crown. Stafford had 31. Najee had 21. The good Khalil Herbert filled in with 18. Palmer rode those guys with a victory. Thielen had 26, but really nothing else to write home about. Brady had 18. Miles Sanders was 7. We both picked Palmer. What can you say to Abbott before it's too late? I'm assuming he's waiting for McCaffrey to come back, but I don't know that that's a sure thing.
Yeah, we talked about it all year. I thought Abbott had a decent team. I thought it was balanced with, receivers and running backs. I thought he had a good quarterback, but it seems like if Brady has an average week, for some reason, losing the number 1 overall pick, I guess that'll do it for you, but he's not winning. And Miles Sanders just isn't really working as that number 2 back. He looks good, but he's not working. And I think the other thing that's hurting him, I think Mike Williams took over the number 1 spot in LA.
Yeah, I agree. Totally.
Keenan Allen isn't what he was last year.
No, absolutely not. Usually Mike Williams comes out, does well, but then gets hurt. Keenan Allen does what he typically does, but that's not really happening so far.
And I think Tim made some great moves last week too. He picked up Alex Collins. He picked up that Khalil Herbert. I think the Crumb Snatchers might make the playoffs.
Poison for a run here.
Yeah.
Moving on, Kurt lost to Pat 105 to 116. That's an 11-point loss. Now, if Kurt moves Gaskin into a running back spot and starts either Beasley or Ruggs in his flex, he wins. But instead of doing that, he started Damian Williams, who was out with COVID since Thursday. So he got 0. And it was no surprise he was out. I'm not sure what happened. I don't know if he missed it or didn't care or didn't get a guy he wanted or whatever. I don't know. Either way, Pat won. Josh Allen had 31. Henderson, 23. Diggs got going. He finally got 19. That's pretty much. How do you feel toward Kurt in his team strategy with his starting roster last week?
You know what? I don't mind the move. You know, he got a little cocky. He thought he could start players who weren't even playing anymore after going 5-0. I mean, I've been there before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you think you can just get away with not even filling a spot in your lineup because it's that good. But I don't think his team is that good. So it ended up biting him in the butt. And especially, I think the SIL agenda has another solid lineup. And so I definitely don't think that was the week to do it.
Yeah, as of right now, we're going to get to the preview, but he has Elliott still in. He took out Damian Williams, but he has Elliott in, who's on a bye this week. So I'm pretty sure you're going to outscore him with your running backs. Game 5 saw Tagmar beating Stu by 11, 133 to 122. 122 is not a bad score. It wasn't enough, though. Hurts had 25, Mixon 24, Robinson was 17, and Cortland Sutton had 19. Tags answered like he always does with Derrick Henry, King Henry. It's a pretty good answer, though. 39 this week. He had 9.2 in week 1, and he's still averaging 29.7 points a week. That's amazing. Rodgers had 25. Green Bay defense had 13. Excuse me, but no one else was any special. Is Tag's team a dominant team, being he's 5-1, or did he get just really lucky with that Derrick Henry-led mirage he has going on there?
He got really lucky.
You wanted Zeke, so I don't want to hear he drafted well. He made it very known he wanted Zeke.
I also mushed Stu because on Sunday, Stu was up 25 or so, maybe a little bit more. And I texted them and told them that Stu had the victory in the bag, that Derrick Henry wasn't going to score over 25 points. And that pretty much put the curse on Stu, and Henry 3 touchdowns later scores almost 40. So
I got a stat about Derrick Henry here. He's leading the league in points, obviously. He has 10 touchdowns. That's more than the Packers with Aaron Jones, Saints with Kamara, the Vikings with Cook, the Panthers with McCaffrey-ish, and the Steelers with Najee combined. They don't have 10. He does. So he's putting up quite a tremendous season. And usually he starts slower and really builds up steam when it starts getting cold and it starts snowing. So I don't know if he has another gear to get to. It's scary if he does. I think Tags might have a winner on his hand if Derrick Henry improves already. But our last game was Bry over a banged up Jack, 122 to 102. Dak had 32. Swift and Jacobs both had close to 15. Kyler came back with 31, and Brandon Cooks had 13. Bad news for Jack, another injury. Dawson Knox broke his hand. He still finished the game. I think he threw a touchdown after that, but that can't help his productivity. Also, T.Y. Hilton on his bench got hurt again. Who knows what he's going to do? So you have to watch the practice report this week. I don't believe he practiced today. What kind of encouragement can you offer Jack after another heartbreaking loss and another few injuries? He's going to need to overcome a lot to keep his team together.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess Kenyon Drake scored 20 for him, so he got that going. Other than that, it's going to be tough. I mean, you figure his number one receiver is DK Metcalf. He's healthy, but his quarterback isn't. Mm-hmm. He lost his running backs. He lost, Juju. He already lost one receiver. He's just lost too much. So I think he has lost too much. He's done a good job trying to fill in some of those spots, and he still has Kyler Murray, who's going to win the MVP. But it's going to be a tough one for him.
I agree. We both went 4-2. We both are 20-16. We're still tied, so we're still.
That's expert analysis right there.
Listen, I'm not saying it, but someone really should. Week 6 saw you with 154 points. So congratulations, week high. You got $12 coming your way. Did you hit that?
What?
I don't know. I just got a chime. I don't know what happened.
Oh yeah, that was me. I said my calendar's out of date.
I thought you were chiming because you won $12. Yeah. Week 7 preview. This week the Bills, Cowboys, Jaguars, Chargers, Vikings, and Steelers are on a bye. This is the Steelers' first bye in what, a year?
2 years, yeah. I mean,
yeah, they lost it last year.
Well, when you're one of the premier franchises in the league, they don't want you
So
to
moving
take a week
on.
off.
First game is Tagmar versus me. 5-1 Tagmar versus 2-4 me. I lost 2 in a row. I made some moves, got a couple. I guess we could get into, before we do that, let's get into the ad drops.
Okay.
The big winner of the day, the Ernest Johnson, he already scored a touchdown. Jeff got him. He's running back for Cleveland. Jeff got him for 16. Joey bid 14. Palmer bid 13. I bid 11. Next one's Rashard Penny, running back for Seattle. I bid 11. No one else bid. That hurts. Cardinals defense, Bry Guy won it with 9. Palmer had 6. Jeff had 5. Palmer had 6. Pat had 5. Jeff had 5. Devontae Freeman, running back Baltimore. I got him with 6. No other bid. Saints defense, Pat got it with 5. Robert Tonyan, Green Bay tight end. I guess Jack's addressing his issue. Jack got him for 4. Kicker Atlanta, Younghoe Koo. Jeff got him for 3. Matty Ice, quarterback for Hotlanta. I got him for 3. Falcons defense, Jack got him for 3. So a lot of Atlanta. Is there any other cities in Georgia? I guess Savannah, other than Atlanta.
Yeah.
Georgia's a big state, and all I know is
Atlanta,
Savannah. I can't remember. I don't know. The last but not least, but yeah, probably least, Mo Alley Cox, tight end for Indy. Joey got him for 2. So active ad drops this week. Week 7 preview. Bunch of guys on buys, a lot of good talent on buys this week. Tagmar versus me. Tagmar's going to have Rodgers and Henry. He has Melvin Gordon right now so far 3 yards, so 0.3 points. He has A.J. Brown. Mike Williams is on a bye. I don't believe he has a second receiver yet. Running back. Bye. He doesn't have another receiver yet. James Conner in his flex. Packers defense. Tucker. I like his lineup so far. I have Matt Ryan versus Miami. Miami's a catastrophe. I hate my running backs. Javonte Williams versus the Rams. That's not a good matchup. He's not a good player. Devontae Freeman versus Cincy. I don't trust Lat Murray anymore. Freeman started creeping up on his carries, but my man DJ Moore's back. My man Debo Samuel's back. Kyle Pitts is back against Miami. I want that Pitts-Ryan connection. Tim Patrick has nothing so far. What are we? 3 minutes left, and then the Rams versus Detroit. So I have a pretty good matchup with there. I'm going to take myself. I know Tags is good. Derrick Henry versus KC. He could get 60, but I don't see much more happen on his team. AJ Brown is not what he used to be. And honestly, I don't care about anybody else on his roster except Henry and maybe Rodgers. But I see Matt Ryan keeping up with Rodgers this week.
I am going to disagree with that. Pretty much all of it, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I'm going to pick the general. Right now, the batting on lineup, it's not my favorite, to say the least.
Yeah.
I think the quarterback, even the running back, receiver's okay. Tight end, Pitts had a good game 2 weeks ago. Hopefully he can keep it up. But I just think that right now, especially with buys, you're lacking at some of those positions. The general, quarterback, running back, not sold on Gordon, but solid. AJ Brown is an okay receiver. I'm curious as to what he's going to do with that second spot.
Yeah.
Because looking at his lineup,
who's he dropping?
He has no one to drop because Cleveland's locked in. I would imagine he would want to drop a defense, but Cleveland will be locked in there, so he can't drop them. He can't drop Javonte Williams. Does he drop one of his I doubt he drops a receiver. So is it Zach Ertz? He probably wants to hold on to him since he just got to Arizona.
Yeah.
So I think he may be going into this matchup with an empty receiver spot.
I'd probably drop Marvin Jones or Zach Ertz. He made a mistake with the Browns defense.
Marvin Jones had 100 yards and 20 points, last week.
Well, he ain't gonna drop Cooper or Jefferson. He ain't dropping Cooper or Jefferson. So
Marvin Jones is a top 30 receiver. I don't think he drops him. Yeah, so I'm curious. I think he actually plays this game without a second receiver. Like we talked about Kurt last week, I think the general is getting a little cocky, and I
don't even think he went in on anybody. So
I don't think he has anybody to drop.
He doesn't need all these receivers. I think his worst players. I would drop AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Active. So what are you going to do? Well, okay. So you're taking tags with Dom, one receiver, and Melvin Gordon against a tough Cleveland defense.
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Abbott versus Jeff. Brady's there. Miles Sanders is still in his starting lineup, sadly enough. I see Waddle made his way up, I guess, after a big week last week. He put himself in. Chuba Hubbard against the Giants should be a decent matchup. Boyd has been quiet lately. Hunter Henry, Eli Mitchell. I guess Mitchell's back. I don't know.
What are your thoughts on Miles Sanders?
I think he's a talented running back who they don't use. He needs to catch passes, and they don't throw him. Hurts runs now. He doesn't dump off. So I don't know. I had him last year. He was decent, but I don't know. He hasn't got week 1. He had 15 points. He hasn't got 8 points since 6-7, 6-7-7. I don't know. It ain't getting better for them. It's getting worse. Other side, Tannehill, whatever. He's capable. At least he's playing KC, so they should throw a lot, or he'll just give it to Derrick Henry most of the game. Aaron Jones is a good matchup. Like we said, Dearness Johnson touched on already. He has 10 points. D-Hop versus Houston, a little revenge game. Hollywood versus Cincy. Noah Fant's already on the board with 1 point. Mike Davis, Colts defense for San Fran and his new kicker. I'm taking Jeff. Matchups are a lot better. His team's a lot better. Abbott's still reeling. And once McCaffrey comes back, you ain't replacing Sanders. You're only replacing Hubbard. So it doesn't solve all your problems.
Yeah, I'm taking Jeff too. Looking at Abbott's lineup, it's a young lineup. If they did have a breakout week, I don't think I would be completely surprised. I mean, Waddle had a great game last week. We saw Mitchell have a good game the first game of the season. Hubbard seems to be feeling okay for McCaffrey down there. So if his team did blow up and scored 130, I don't think I'd be completely surprised. But I just think there's too much star power in Aaron Jones, DeAndre Hopkins, Marquise Brown. So Jeff gets the win.
Next one is 3-3 Pat versus 3-3 Palmer. Palmer's 1-2. He's the current crown holder. We got Sam Darnold versus Giants. That sounds like a get right game. He's been off a little while. Henderson versus Detroit's a pretty good matchup. Patterson versus Miami is a good matchup. Adams is a good matchup regardless. McLaurin's hurt, and he's been bad the last 2 games. I don't know that he's any better. I think he missed practice today or just did a light practice by himself. Ricky Seals-Jones picked them up last week from Andre Stevenson in the flex versus the Jets. Pat has really good matchups in his defense versus Seattle. So Pat has excellent matchups this week, even on the bye week, I'm assuming. Yeah, Diggs, Allen, Edwards-Hilaire's hurt. Josh Gordon's still on the team for some reason. Other side, Stafford versus Detroit. It's another good matchup, revenge game there. That should be good. Michael Carter versus the Jets. I like Michael Carter, but I don't think you can expect a ton out of him. Khalil Herbert versus Tampa. He's going to get a heavy dose of what run defense looks like going against Tampa. And then you still have Allen Robinson versus Tampa. I think this is Allen Robinson's breakout. If he doesn't break out versus Tampa, you could probably cut him. Sadly enough, he's just a total bust. Robert Woods versus Detroit. That's a good matchup. Andrews has been feasting lately. He's excited about tight end university. He said he's gonna go off this weekend, so we'll see. Alex Collins Was it Alex Collins? Yeah, Alex Collins. He was the former Raven, then. I didn't realize that. Alex Collins versus Seattle versus New Orleans. Palmer has to check out his defense. He has a bye for his defense and a bye for his kicker. He also has Eckler and Harris on a bye. This is a bad week. I'm taking Pat. Pat has really good matchup. Palmer is hurt bad by his buys this week.
Yeah, I agree. At full strength, I might pick Palmer in this, but without Eckler and Harris, his two best players, I think he did a good job picking up Herbert last week. Herbert had a good game. Same with Alex Collins, but I don't think it's enough. On the other side, Pat has to deal with
Pat has
a
Diggs
lot
and
of buys as
Allen.
well without
Yep.
Diggs, without Allen. I just think that he has a little bit more with Darrell Henderson, Devontae Adams, and Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, for sure. Next game, the marquee matchup: 3-3 Mark, 1-3 in a row versus 5-1 Kurt. You still got Wentz going. He looks good. Who looks good is Taylor. Taylor's been on fire lately. Fournette versus Chicago. I don't think he should have a problem there. Tyreek Hill versus Tennessee. Man, Evans versus Chicago. You still ain't going the AB, right? Even though I think he has an ankle injury right now, so maybe that's the right bet.
Yeah, I
Gesicki's
had AB in there until he didn't practice, so I just switched him out. That's the benefit of having both of them.
Gesicki, good matchup versus Atlanta, and then your boy Williams starting running back for the high-powered KC offense. Panthers versus Giants should be good. The other side, Mahomes versus Tennessee. He should feast. Elliott's on a bye. I don't know what he's going to do there. Gaskin versus Atlanta. I don't care who Gaskin plays. I don't think he's that great. Cup versus Detroit. I wonder if they score too much, if Cup and Stafford don't really get an opportunity to play Detroit because they rarely stay in games. So Jamar Chase versus Baltimore. I'm interested to see if Humphreys is on Chase to stop that huge touchdown talent he has. Darren Waller versus Philly. Darren Waller's been struggling lately as well. I'm curious to see if he's going to break out too, because Philly should be a team to do it against. Dylan versus Washington and the Broncos defense versus Cleveland. They've already let up 10 points, so I would imagine the defense is going to get beat a little bit. It's only the first quarter, and they've already surrendered 10. So I think Tags bet under 7 and tie at the end of the first, so he lost both his bets. I'm going to take you. I don't know what he's going to do with Elliott. I don't like Gaskin. I don't know that. I think Kupp might be neutralized because of a game strip, and I think Chase might be neutralized because of the defense. So I kind of like your matchups here. I like your firepower. And I think you go to 4 in a row.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with myself too. I get the benefit of playing him when Zeke's on a bye, and Cole Beasley, who he puts in his lineup at the flex position sometimes. So I think that hurts him. I'm not sure what he's going to do with that running back position. Kupp, Chase, Waller, Dillon, I think are fine. But right now, I like the way my team performed last week. Taylor's getting the carries there. Fournette's been a big part of Tampa Bay's offense. Hill is who he thought he was. I mean, if AB is hurt and can't play, I'm fine with Evans. If AB is going to play, I might stick him in there. And then Darrell Williams, he played great for me last week. So I'm pretty happy with where the team's at right now. So I'm going to roll with it.
It's excellent. That is excellent. Next one, 2-4 Jack. He lost 3 in a row. 2-4 Stu lost 2 in a row. Kyler versus Houston. Okay. Drake, I think he's ailing. It seems like Connor's taking his carries, but Philly again should get right. There's a lot of bad matchups this week. Devontae Booker versus Carolina. I'm interested to see if Booker, he looked good last week. Carolina has a decent defense. Metcalf, you love Metcalf, but now he's going to have Latimer and he doesn't have a quarterback. He melts away when Wilson's not there. Brandon Cooks versus Arizona. Arizona's got a good defense. Cooks has been decent. Robert Tonyan, I think he's about done as well. T.Y. Hilton, I believe he's hurt. I don't know. Barkley, Carson, Galladay, Bills on a bye, Pollard on a bye, Conklin on a bye, Knox on a bye. He's currently holding 3 tight ends. 2 are on a bye. 1's not good. That team is he's hurt, man. He got beat up pretty good. Other side for Stu, Hurts versus Vegas. Max Williams, I like Max Williams. He kind of broke on the scene. He's going to be chasing Hurts for run. I'm curious to see if he can, what he's going to do there. Kamara versus Seattle's a good play. Mixon's a good play. Godwin versus Chicago. If AB doesn't play, Godwin might see some targets as well. Cam Sutton's already on the board with 3.6. Dallas Goddard.
Cortland.
I'm sorry?
Cortland Sutton.
I do that every single time. I think Ertz being traded to Arizona helps Goddard far more than it helps Ertz.
Yeah.
I think Goddard's a decent play. T. Higgins, he's been kind of quiet this week too. I'm not sure about the Ravens defense versus a high-powered Cincy offense. He has a lot of stuff on a bye as well. Robinson. Well, just Robinson, I guess, in his defense. I'm going to take Stu. I think it's hard for Jack to overcome all these injuries, all these bye weeks. So I think Stu breaks out of his losing streak.
I agree. Jack, can't say much more about Kyler Murray, but other than that, Jack's lineup is really hurting. Stu, with Kamara back in the lineup, this is, he's missing James Robinson. So that's the only big player he has on bye. The rest of his lineup is solid. I think he wins this one easily.
I would agree. All right. Last game, 4-2, Joey, 1-2 in a row versus 2-4, Bry Guy. Actually, I wanted to point this out. I got some feedback the other day about the team names since they changed so much, and certain people that follow the podcast don't know, they're not in the league. So when I say, the Rough Cats and Cream of Wheat, he doesn't know who I'm talking about. So he asked me to do the manager's name. So for Jake, I'm doing the manager name. So Joey with Lamar Jackson, he's on fire. I actually think Lamar is the league MVP when this thing's all over. Gibson has been hurt. I think he's still hurt. I think he came to practice, but I don't know what he's going to do. Empty is his second running back, so I don't know about that. Sterling Shepard, I think he's the last receiver standing. Darnell Mooney, Mo Alley Cox, Hunter Renfro. That's an ugly lineup. On the other side, Burrow, Josh Jacobs, Swift, Pittman, Kelsey, Edmonds. Braga got the better lineup here. I don't know what Joey does with his second running back. He has CeeDee Lamb on a bye, Hunt on a bye. Still carrying Michael Thomas, who's not going to play this season. Corey Davis, Tariq Cohen. I guess you were going to play Tariq Cohen this week. Chubb's hurt. Dalton Schultz is on a bye. Rondell Moore. I guess you're playing Tariq Cohen. I'm taking the Rough Cats.
Yeah, I am as well. There's too much out for Cream of Wheat this week. The Rough Cats, that so far, it looks like that trade. Actually, I thought Cream of Wheat won it at the time, but it seems like it's working out better for the Rough Cats. He's able to put DeAndre Swift and Kelsey in the lineup again this week. Dak's on by, but I think he has a solid replacement in Burrow. I think Cream of Wheat's missing too much. Rough Cats get the win.
That's unfortunate to trade for the injured guy. That's a tough one for Joey. That wraps the week up. Do you want to go into your power rankings before we hit the emails?
Sure.
Okay, fire away. This is your time to shine. Everyone's on the edge of their seat.
I'm sure they are. And before I go in, I want to give a shout out to Jakey Croc Outdoors and his youth trapping tournament. I watched a live video. Joined the Facebook group, so just wanted to get that in there.
A lot of support.
Build some following. If anybody who watches this, isn't a part of that, make sure you like and subscribe.
Hey, be a friend, tell a friend.
So yeah, and that's who the power rankings are brought to you by this week. It's Jakey Crack Outdoors.
Oh, that's unfortunate. We have a sponsor, and I'm going to end up being 12th. Oh,
and yeah. So going into that, coming in at number 12, you said it. It's batting lawn.
Down from 9 to 12.
Yeah, it's 2-4 in the division, tied for the lowest amount of wins. And we talked about, I think the lack of quarterback, really injuries at running back, and the question mark at tight end. I like Pitts, but I don't know if he's going to sustain it. I think I think it's tough to argue.
I mean, Pitts is a number 10. All you have to do is be in a top 12. I'm not going to get Waller, Andrews, Kelsey production, but I understand why I'm there. I'm not winning, so there's no other place for me. If there was 13, I would be 13th at this point.
Close with you was the Brady bunch.
Mm.
I thought about dropping them to number 12. Again, last place in their division, 2-4 as well. I just think the Brady bunch has a little bit more of a balanced team, a solid lineup. Brady could potentially be in that MVP conversation with Kyler the way he's playing. He lost the number 1 overall pick. He replaced him with Hubbard, but they're just not winning. I like I said, if he won, he has a decent young team. He has Allen and Thielen at receiver, Sanders and Hubbard at running back, Brady at quarterback. I think he has a lineup. They're just not producing.
Mm-hmm. He went from 11. He stayed at 11. He stayed pat.
Coming in at number 10, we got the Thunder Gun Express. We just talked about them.
Jack Beck.
Too many injuries. If he's back and healthy, I could see him moving up quick. But the longer those guys, Barkley, Carson, everyone else is out with an injury, the less chance he has of moving up.
10-10. So Abbott and Jack didn't move.
Then we got number 9. We got the Rough Cats.
Spry guy.
So the Rough Cats are coming off a win last week. And hey, he needed to do something. He made a big splash trade last week, and it seems like it's working out for him so far. And I could see him getting a second win this week, like we talked about. So he made that move, and it worked out.
So far, so good. 12-9.
Coming in at number 8, we have the Dirty Sanchez.
There's Stu, 7-8.
Dirty Sanchez is on a 2-game losing streak. I think Buys hurt him with Kamara last week. We'll see what happens this week. He has Robinson out, but can't go on a 2-game losing streak and expect to move up. Coming in at number 7, we have Gravity's Rainbow, who is now fuckery afoot.
What happened to fuckery afoot? So he was 3 and he went all the way to 7, and he's 3-3 at this particular moment. He took quite a drop there.
Yeah, had a it's not, I don't know if he dropped, but I think other teams just passed him up in performance. Has a good team. I still think he's a fringe playoff team in that division, especially with having the Dirty Sanchez, Thunder Gun Express, and Brady bunch in the same division. But I think he's still missing that second running back. Although Dearness Johnson looks like he's playing well right now. So
yeah,
maybe
he looks good. I don't imagine he does much with Chubb. Hunt's off for a little while, but I would assume Chubb's back next week.
And I do like the Latavius Murray pickup he had last week.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 6, one of the largest jumps is the Crumb Snatchers.
8.
They're riding a 2-game win streak, the second longest win streak in the league. And I think he's finally hitting the stride. Number 1, he made a couple great pickups last Sunday. And number 2, Najee and Eckler, I think are really carrying him with Robert Woods. If he can find a suitable replacement for Allen Robinson, I think he'll be tough to deal with.
I would agree. He looks good. He's coming up.
Coming in at 5, we got the Agenda.
Brother Pat went from 6 to 5.
We talked a lot about that team. He's dealing with CEH's injury, but I think he has enough there to replace him. Cordero Patterson, Darrell Henderson, Zach Moss. Great receivers. Diggs, we finally saw him really start to break out last week. If Diggs and Adams can both break out, he'll be tough to deal with.
Yep. Per usual.
Coming in at number 4, we have the team with the longest win streak
in the league.
Ben's Baloney Boppers.
MARC
riding a 3-game win streak and now sitting at 3-3 in third place in the varsity division. I think the Boppers are climbing the ladder. They finally got the lineup figured out. I'm happy with where I'm at. Jonathan Taylor, Fournette, I think they're playing some of their best football. Wentz, I think, was a good pickup for Wilson. And then Tyreek Hill and Mike Evans will do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
3, we got Kareem Wheat.
Yep, Joey.
He
Battling
has
some big injuries right now.
the second most wins in the league. Got a lot of injuries, a lot of question marks right now. So we'll see what happens. But the trade last week, when healthy, Lamar Jackson, Nick Chubb, CeeDee Lamb, potentially Michael Thomas. It's a juggernaut if it's healthy.
Yeah. I don't expect much out of Michael Thomas. I don't even know. Is he slated to come back? Is there a return date on him yet?
He's eligible now.
Yeah, but I don't think he wants to come back.
He might not.
Yeah. Okay, top 2.
Coming in number 2 off their first loss, we have the Confederate States of America.
Kurt.
I think he had the number 1 spot for a week. Yep. Lost the crown quickly to the So Agenda. Could it be because he got a little cocky and didn't fill his lineup? Who knows? But he has another tough matchup again this week. So we'll see. He could fall quick. And then number 1 is King Henry, the General.
Bags is reclaiming his crown.
5-1, most points, I believe. And yep, most wins.
Most wins. All right. Well, we got a couple emails today. We got 3, in fact. The first one coming in from Tags. He's been quiet, but he's back. If you were to redraft, what round would you pick Robbie Anderson, wide receiver for the Panthers? Right now, he was drafted 54th. That's the 5th round. The other wide receivers around him were Deontay Johnson, was at 50, T. Higgins at 52, Robbie was at 54, Juju 55, and Odell Beckham at 59. Last year, Robbie Anderson finished as the wide receiver 21. Great number 2. He had 187 points. To compare, Juju had 187, Deontay had 183, CeeDee Lamb had 183, Cooper Kupp had 172, Higgins is 167, Godwin at 160, and Hollywood 159, and Mike Williams finished with 136 points, about 51 points off Robbie Anderson's lead. 2 years ago, Robbie Anderson did really well with Sam Darnold when they were both on the Jets. He had 779 yards and 5 touchdowns. Last year, he had 1,096 yards and 3 touchdowns. So that many yards and only 3 touchdowns, a positive regression should have came. The targets he saw and the yardage he got, he should have had more touchdowns. And then the Panthers went and got Darnold. So you assume there would be that chemistry again. I drafted DJ Moore in the 4th, so I wasn't going to take 2 Panther receivers. So far, Robbie Anderson's a 59th receiver, averaging 6.8 points. His issue is a ton of drops. He still gets double-digit targets, but he cannot catch the ball. I don't know if that's not being placed properly, if they are catchable, but he's just not doing well. So he has 59 points. A.J. Brown has 66. Calvin Ridley has 54. So I guess the question was, if we were to redraft, where would you draft Robbie Anderson?
Well, I would maybe the 15th or 16th round. So I'm in one other fantasy football league, and I was looking at the waiver, the free agents on Tuesday night, and Robbie Anderson was a free agent in that league, so he wasn't even on a roster.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind having him on my team, maybe as somebody who might break out, but he wouldn't be in my starting lineup. And if I was to draft him, it would be one of the late round flyers.
Yeah, looking back now, I mean, the metrics were there, but that doesn't always mean you're going to succeed. He was good last year. He was good the year before. He's not good this year. So I wouldn't draft him. I don't know what legitimacy that gives to the question, but it's answered. I wouldn't draft him, and you would draft him, I think, 2 rounds after our draft is over. So there you go. Next question is an interesting one from Joey. why do people who have no need for players add them? Is it strictly a screw you type of thing? I don't know exactly what he's going for. I'm assuming it's Dearness Johnson who Joey bid for, but he's starting for Gravity's Rainbow right now. I don't think everyone was assuming, well, since Joey has Cleveland, that we'll just let it go and let him get Dearness Johnson for free. But I mean, I've actually done that before. I've had an opponent with no running back, with no quarterbacks, and I added 4 quarterbacks that week to block him, and he played with no quarterback. And then it happened to me twice this year. Pat had Madison. He had my handcuff. Cook got hurt, and the first text I got was, "Cook's hurt. What are you gonna trade for Madison?" So I didn't, because I'm not trading for a handcuff. And then the second time was actually with Pat as well. Last week I needed a tight end, and I bid on 3 of them, and Ricky Seals-Jones was the first tight end I wanted. He actually scored a touchdown. Pat had him on the bench, but now this week he's starting. So Pat was just prepping for his bye week. I could see that. Joey doesn't have a good running back with Chubb and Hunt out. He got outbid by Dearness Johnson. Jeff has Lat Murray, but I picked up Freeman this week because I think they were pulling carries from Lat Murray last week, and it also looked like he got a little banged up also. So I guess sometimes it's to screw people. Sometimes it's to maybe next week he needs a running back because of a bunch of buys.
Well, maybe it's just to make your team better. I mean,
Dearness Johnson's a starting running back right now. I don't know.
I don't know
who he's talking about. I'm assuming it's Dearness Johnson, but I don't know that.
If you have somebody to drop, you obviously feel the person you're picking up is better than the person you're dropping, or you wouldn't make the move.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's as simple as that. I mean, it doesn't matter if you have 5 good running backs and you're adding a 6th or not. If you have a second defense and you think that the 6th running back is better than the second defense, it's better to do. So if it happens to screw somebody, well, maybe they should have bid higher.
And I think Joey has the least amount of money with 22. I don't know who he picked up. He does have the least. There's 23, 24, but he has 22. So he has the least amount of money left. Jeff's in the middle. He has 48. So I don't know who Joey thought he needed to get, but apparently he spent up to get those people. I don't know who it was. So yeah, it could be a screw you thing. It doesn't, that's why we have 100. Everyone starts with 100.
Yeah.
So if you're getting screwed with, it's because you didn't manage your money enough.
I think I like the move even more.
Yeah. Last one is Stu's Conspiracy Corner. It's the one we've been waiting for. Ever since its opening in 2006, the Denver International Airport has been a center of much controversy. For starters, the airport is constructed much farther away from Denver than the old airport, and the construction cost had a $4.8 billion price tag, nearly $2 billion over budget. Many people believe the airport is actually a cover for a large underground base that was constructed in tandem with the airport. On top of this, many of the art and designs throughout the airport is full of Masonic and New World Order themes. There are suitcases with gargoyles popping out of them. There's a giant horse Mustang in front of the airport with red eyes, and there's murals throughout the airport depicting death and sorrow. And there's a giant statue of the Egyptian god Anubis standing outside. To top it all off, there's a dedication stone inside the airport with the Freemasonic square and compass reading at the bottom, New World Airport Commission. Do you think this is a bunker for the New World Order? Do you think Palmer has ever been there? Might JFK's brain be stored there? There's a lot to unpack here.
Well, I'm actually going to be at Denver's airport on Monday too.
Oh, well, you're going to have to do some.
I'll take pictures and do some recon work. But yes, I think Palmer's in there. Yes, I think it's bunk. I think it might be part of that, one of the tunnels that connect like Area 51 to Vegas to California. I think it's part of that group of terminals where they move. Maybe they move alien spaceships or other things like that.
So I text Palmer and asked if he had any comment, and he has not responded, which is typical. So maybe he's in that bunker and there's no signal there. I don't know. So I looked into it really quick. Denver International is the 6th busiest airport as of 2016. I couldn't find anything more recent, but there was 58 million travelers through the airport in 2016. The guy whoever runs the airport said most of the theories are laughable and easily disproved, but the DIA is happy to weaponize them as marketing tools. Maybe conspiracy theorists travel to Denver, which turns into millions of dollars for the area and the airport. The Freemason NWO ties, the global elitist, when asked about that, he said the Freemasons are legitimate and they do have civil ties to the airport, but there's no connection with an NWO New World Order situation. So the Mustang, this thing is cool. I was looking at it. It's a blue Mustang. It's been nicknamed Blucifer. It does have fire red eyes. It's supposedly one of the conspiracy is it's one of the horses of the apocalypse. And the weirdest thing is, I don't know if I didn't dig too deep because I want this to be true. June 13th, 2006, Luis Jimenez was a sculptor of this Blucifer. He was killed when part of the 35-foot sculpture of the horse toppled on him, and that horse killed him. I saw that in 2 areas. I didn't want to dig any deeper in case it's not true. I want that to be true. That is awesome. There are these bunkers around that house communications and other things that have the government or whoever still have a society to be able to run from their home base there. So I would imagine it would be pretty easy to build one under an airport if you're already building the airport. The reason they said they have so many underground tunnels is they have a state-of-the-art baggage moving system with all the intricate tunnels and conveyors and this and that. And that's why it took so long, or that's why they have so much underground work. And they also said that it didn't work. So after the airport was completed, they had to still have workers there underground fixing this conveyor system, which if you buy a state-of-the-art conveyor system, you would hope it would work, but I don't know. It's an excellent situation. I'm interested to see when you go on site what you come up with. I hope you get pictures of the gargoyles, and I want to see the horse. Don't stand too close. I don't want it to fall on you. I don't know. There ain't that many expert analysts out there to replace you with, so be very careful.
If I wear my chain that Stu got us and tell them
up on the wall
and tell them that I know Tim Palmer, do you think I'll be safe?
I think that will raise flags and they'll probably kill you. No question. No question at all. What are you watching now? What do you have going on Netflix?
You know what? I finished Squid Games.
What do you think about Squid Games? No spoilers. Did you like it?
I liked it. It was very graphic.
Very much. Second episode was the absolute worst.
But I thought it was good.
Second episode or the in general?
What was the second episode? I can't.
When they left. When they let them when they voted. So they had the game, and then they were voting, and the second episode was them leaving and then coming back, which I thought was a stupid throwaway episode. You can actually skip it. It means nothing to you. What else? You finished Squid Game. What else you got going on?
Nothing. I think. Do you have any recommendations?
Did you see Clickbait?
Yes.
I like that a lot. My man
Clickbait was good.
I like seeing Vinny Chase get work. We just finished Midnight Mass. If you happen to watch that,
no,
that's good. It's eerie until you find out what's going on, and I think once you find out what's happening, second or third episode, it's like, oh, I mean, it's cool, but it was way cooler when you didn't know what was happening. But I do suggest it's not like crazy scary. It's pretty interesting. We just finished that. We didn't really find nothing new lately. I don't know if there's any suggestions on what's next, but
I don't have any, except the only thing I would suggest is everyone get out there and listen to the banger, The Island Boys.
the Island Boys, got to listen to the pod from McAfee's guys, the boys. They did that for 35 minutes. It was
It's catchy. It's
very
catchy.
catchy. It's very catchy. I don't know, man. That's all I got. You got anything else? Anything happening in the game? I see
Yeah,
Jeff
De'Aaron.
15 points. So Noah Fant got 2 receptions. Dearness got himself 64 and a tutty. That's a good start. Broncos still got 10 points. Cortland Sutton, Cam Sutton. Melvin Gordon's up to 1.4 points. He has 3 yards so far, so that's a big one. St. Patrick has nothing still, so I guess I can't talk too much about Gordon. Yeah, I guess that's a wrap then. We banged it out. Did you guys win baseball today?
We lost.
Is this a tournament or is this a season play, in-house play?
No, this is the Smashing Pumpkins tournament in Peters Township.
Like Billy Corrigan?
No, like when your team loses, they have a pumpkin with your symbol carved in it that they smash.
That's pretty sweet.
So
is baseball done now or is it still going? It's getting late.
After this, we have 1 week. 1 week from today, and that's it for the winter.
What are you in Denver for? Are you just checking out the conspiracies or?
No, I gotta go. I gotta go out to California for work. I'm just connecting. And
how long's your layover?
Like an hour, maybe 2.
You're not gonna have much time. You're gonna have to run. Apparently it's a big airport.
I'll see what I can do.
Is that the puppies barking or is that the big dogs?
That's the big dog. The puppies are over there. They're fine. They're quiet. What's that?
Still sleeping?
Yeah.
Any updates? Any names yet or anything?
Yeah, they're all named.
What are their names?
We got Frostbite.
Is that the white one, I assume?
Yes. Tiggy.
Tiggy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Doodle.
You got to incorporate that.
Brownie.
Okay.
And
Jake Miller presents the dog.
Tara, what are the dogs' names? What are the puppies' names? Yes. Curly.
Okay, I can see that.
Doodle, Frostbite, Tiggy.
I hear her. She gonna make an appearance?
We have Tiggy, Curly,
We went over it.
Brownie, Doodle, and Frostbite.
You're pointing, but no one can see.
Oh, I didn't know you were on it.
All right. Well, that's a wrap. We got the dog update. We got the Jake update. I think we pretty much covered everything. Paul Tags wants to go fishing. He said he couldn't go this week because Brandy wants him to stay home and watch shows. I said, "No, what are you gonna watch? Which one's that?"
Doodle. She's the chunk.
That's not the runt, huh?
No, she's huge. She's a big girl.
Do you have to feed her water yet? Or is it just milk?
No, she's a good puppy. They're all good.
Do they do much or do they just kind of hang out?
No, they just hang.
Good.
When
they start, I want to hear this when they start moving around and barking and wild. I want to see when you have 7 dogs running around your house, how it feels.
I'm a good girl. Huh. If only my mother would listen, huh?
Yeah, so Tag said he has to catch up on shows. I said, "Oh, what show you catch up on?" He goes, "Oh, the podcast. I missed the last 2 fantasy shows, so we're gonna watch all 3 tomorrow."
It's gonna be a busy night for them.
So I wanted to ask you, speaking of that, what are you doing Sunday since there's no Steeler game? Anyone invite you over to hang out and watch Red Zone and drink green tea and rum?
Actually, you know what? I'm checking my phone now, and no.
Mine's been here. I've been waiting. It hasn't gone off yet. Palmer or Tagmeyer. So,
wow, it's interesting.
Very, very. If you see him in Denver, tell him I said hi.
I think I might have a better chance of seeing him there than if I do here.
I think so. All right, man. We're gonna wrap it up. It's 9:30. It's about an hour. So, good luck. I don't know if I need you to win or lose. I haven't been looking at that yet. I should start because I'm starting to fall behind. So, all right, we will catch you guys next week. Have a good trip. When are you back?
Wednesday.
Oh, Monday to Wednesday.
Yep.
All right, sounds good, dude. I will talk to you later.
Adios.
There it is.